Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Mic with the M.
Auntie.
Hey, today, peoples, we're having a very, very controversial episode today. And it's about dating people with kids. And, it's a unique relationship. And how do you deal with that? How you play, how do you get together? Hey, to me, it's going to be deep. So, what do you think about it, T?
I mean, first of all, how do you not date people with kids at this point in the dating realm? I think that the pool has so many people with children in it that if you're dating, pretty much in our age ranges, there's a pretty high chance that you're dating with children. So the question to me is, how do you go about doing so?
Ooh, that's good. Because you're right. You get to a point that you're going to deal with someone who has at least one kid.
At least.
That's not yours.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
and of course, you may come in there with a kid.
Yeah, you may come in with a kid or two yourself.
Oh, god damn. I think the first thing is you had to be really cool with the idea of basically dating two people, because really the kid has to like you too.
Okay.
Because yeah, you may like the woman, she may be fine, she may be all that, but that kid could just sink the whole thing. If the kid look at you and say, you know what, mama, I don't like him. He look like this, and she could be like, oh shoot, maybe I ain't gonna really holler at him because my kid don't like you.
True. True.
And I'm gonna feel a certain way, like, damn, I'm gonna let the kid dictate. We're gonna get together, but that's what happens when you get into those type of relationships.
So how long after of us dating do we introduce the children
Okay,
for the child to make a judgment against or towards the person you're dating?
I think personally, it should take months, because the one thing you don't want to do, because now you're bringing a kid into this relationship, into this equation. What you don't want to do is have dudes popping all the time, if you're a woman, all the time, and that's, oh, this is such, I'm dating such. You don't want that to start. You don't even want that to even pop up for at least 3 months. Because 3 months, that gives you a chance to date the guy, talk to him, see where his head is at, do a background check, make sure he ain't a child molester, anything like that.
Okay. Okay.
So,
run your Google search.
hey, you got to,
words.
because you don't know these Bamas.
Okay.
I mean, Ted Bundy was a nice guy
Uh-huh.
until he got you, in a car, and then next you know, you ain't going to see nobody no more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's today's world. You have to do a background check on these Bamas. You don't know where they came from, and he should do a background check on her too.
Oh, okay. So we both need to
You
do
have
background
to.
checks on each other.
Again, your kid is the most precious thing that you got.
Okay.
So you can't just be bringing anybody to the door. He look fine. He
So
this and
3 months in.
I said 3 months in.
Okay.
That way you should do again a background check on him, see how he is, and ask him about kids. The other thing is you have to tell him, like, I have a kid, and you have to see his initial reaction. Some may just say, oh, okay, I have one too, and you can have that conversation. Then you got to find out what kind of parent he is. You have to find out his parenting skill. If he is a laissez-faire type of parent, or you can do whatever you want to do, or he's a parent that's real strict. Because whatever he is, he's going to pretty much bring that same approach to your kid.
So you're finding out his parenting style before or after you're introducing.
Because you don't want to not have that conversation and then realize he's a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And now,
but how do you find out his parenting style if the children are not introduced?
Well, you have to. That's when you talk to him. You say, hey, how long? That's when you dig into his background. Say, hey, how long? How old was the kid? And he'll tell you, and you're like, well, what's your parenting style? Then that's when you dig into the relationship between the baby's mother and him. And then you'll find out if
but what if he's not very forthcoming?
Well, you
because who's gonna say I was the drill sergeant of the house and that kind of what is the baby mother like? How does she feel about him? That's what you're saying.
You probably want to see what kind of relationship they have, because
how would you find out?
I'll just ask him. I said, bro, y'all getting along? How often do you see your daughter or son? Are you on child support? These are questions that.
What if he's like, yeah, she just didn't like me, Like,
Okay.
they have all types of excuses on why they
Everyone
don't
got
see
an
their
excuse
kids
why.
regularly.
Yes, they all have an excuse. But the bottom line is, if you really care about that kid, which goes a long way in dealing with your relationship.
Right.
Because if he got kids and he hit you with the, well, I don't never see him because she won't allow me to see him, or I ain't,
Because she won't allow me to see him, but you're on child support.
On child support, she never see me. Well, how much child support?
Is that possible?
It's possible.
Okay.
But it depends on what kind of father you are. In that, what kind of father you want to be. I guess that's really the question. What kind of father do you really want to be? Do you want to be the father that just say, I pay child support and don't bother me, and just go and deal with that because I want to deal with the kid. I don't want to deal with you. Or you're like, you know what? We got in this together. We're going to have to work together for the rest of our lives. I may not like you, but I love her.
Right.
And if you discount your kid, it's discounting yourself. So that goes back to, if he discounts his kid, then you're like, who knows how this relationship will go down the road? Because you could have a baby by him. So you can pretty much say, oh, damn, if he's not going to really take care of his kid right now, why you think that, he's going to take care of it? I have one by him. He's going to take care of that one. Why do you think that way? Why do women think that way? Like, well, he got 3 kids. He don't take care of them, but he had one with me. He going to take care of mine. I'm different than those other 3 before. What makes you different?
That's a hard one. But normally it's just the feeling. It's nothing concrete that was done or given or said. It's just the feeling. And they normally, like you said, people are creatures of habit. And what they did for the first one, they'll probably, do for the next ones down the road. Unless you are together.
Yeah, that's true. And you know how that changes. Once, everything's fine and dandy when you're together. But once it breaks up and all of a sudden he can't just stop by your house no more. He can't just call you no more. We get a little crazy. We really do.
The money get weird.
Oh, the money gets weird.
Short. Oh my God.
Why that? Why she need this? Why she need that? Well, the baby has to eat.
We just got her that.
The baby grows. Kids grow. That's what happens. They grow. They get bigger. They eat every day. They breathe every day. They live every day.
Yeah.
You just can't say, I wait another month and give you $10, $15. What are you gonna do with $10, $15?
Oh, you can't put it off every month or a month.
No,
kids need stuff every day.
Babies got to eat
every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
So now you're dealing with that. Now if I'm a guy who's now dealing with that with a baby's mother, and now I'm gonna start dating someone else who has a kid. Personally, I would feel a certain way about dating a woman with a kid because I'm in a situation I'm in, and I have to ask myself, do I want to get in a situation like that with her? Because maybe her relationship with her baby's father is contentious too, and do I really want to get involved with that? Because I'm dealing with that too. So, it gets a little tricky.
The pool is filled up of though.
Oh Lord.
Am I not giving you any hope? I'm sorry,
but you know
I
what?
want to give you hope.
I know, and that's the key. The older you get, you're gonna have to deal with that pool. It's just inevitable. You're gonna have to deal with a woman with kids. Hopefully one, maybe more. That means then you're going to have to. Oh Lord, you're gonna have to really learn. You have to learn about the kid, but you have to learn with the mother first. Because that's the other thing. You hear stories all the time about how kids get hurt and get killed by their boyfriends. And I'm sitting there thinking, what kind of test do you have for these guys to bring somebody in that's going to abuse your kids or kill your kids? So I'm thinking especially from a woman's perspective, I would think that you would make sure that you would do everything, all your due diligence before you bring anybody in your house to even know who your kid's name is.
Okay.
But these women today just seem like
Malcolm, you just said you only need 3 months before you introduce the man to the kids. Yeah, but what do you know about somebody in 3 months?
You should know a little bit more. Like you should.
I don't think 3 months is enough time. 3 months is not enough time to know somebody in order to introduce them to your children. Your children, they coming into your home. Like they know where you live after 3 months and you have
Well,
children
you know
there.
what?
That's
That's
not enough
also
time for
that
me.
that now that you said that.
I'm a mom, but I am the mom, and I don't have a man living inside the house. I'm a
Hmm.
single parent. My mind is not saying it's safe enough to let the guy who I've been talking to or dating for the last 3 months to let him know where I live at, to let him,
Oh no, no,
meet the
definitely not that.
children.
Oh no, no, no,
Um,
no, no,
yeah.
no. In fact, I think it may be best now we're talking that you made to bring the baby out or the kids. I mean, you got
Uh huh.
on the date. Just
Oh, out.
bring them out,
Oh, okay,
bring them
just to
out,
meet.
just to
Out.
meet.
Oh,
See
okay.
how he interacts. See how
Okay.
they kind of view what's going on. Not with the eye of I hope they liked him because I like him, but more of does they interact, how their relationship.
Okay.
Of course, it's
Okay.
early. He don't know her. She don't him or her.
Okay. I thought
So
the man was coming to the house.
oh no
Oh,
no no no
okay.
no no
Okay.
that house is about 6 months.
Okay.
House is six. No, that's 3 months is go out, talk to them, then talk to your kids, see how they feel. But then you have to listen to them based on their vision because I don't know what kind of relationship they got with their father.
Yeah.
So they could be like, yeah, he ain't my daddy, so I don't know why my mama even want to talk to him. Even though you probably told him, me and your daddy done.
Yeah.
You know what? It didn't work out. The best thing that came was you from that relationship. You know what? I will always love him because he's your dad, and he was. I was blessed enough to have you from him. That's where that goes.
Mhm.
So don't think that I'm going to disrespect your dad, but mama got to move on and
Mhm.
find happiness herself.
Right.
So then you got, if you have that kid that says, okay, he or she may not like him anyway because ain't her daddy
Yeah.
or their
Yeah.
daddy, but at least you have that open relationship with them and say, hey, and what do you think? Once you have that relationship, and if you have that relationship, I don't know. So I don't know how women. I know back in the day, women used to talk real bad about their baby daddies. Like that son of that he ain't, which does damage to the kid.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
when you say he's no good, you basically telling the kid that they're no good because that kid is part of that
Okay.
person.
Right.
So I think that even before the relationship, you got to make sure that you talk. Don't give an opinion about the father. He'll show it himself.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
never had to say anything about him,
Don't
bad about
project
him.
what you feel on the children.
Let
Mhm.
the kid sees.
Mhm.
Daddy's he gonna come pick me up. Daddy never shows up. Daddy
Mhm.
said he gonna bring me some toys. Daddy never bring any toys.
Mhm.
Daddy said he gonna come see me. Daddy don't come see you. Daddy's gonna come pick you up. And the kid's looking out the window at 6 o'clock, and after he's supposed to come in at 7, but she's ready, him and her ready and willing to go out with him.
Mhm.
But 7 comes, not there. 8 comes, not there. 9 comes, not there. Then you get a phone call, you get a text. I ain't gonna make it. Something came up. Then you gotta tell that kid that, your daddy ain't coming. Is he coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
He
They
didn't
form the
say.
judgment themselves. Mhm.
You don't have to say anything. So that's the one thing I would say for women or even men. Don't talk bad about the significant other because again, that's still a part of that kid. That's still, if you talk bad about them, it's like talking bad about your kid because your kid goes, I'm part of them. So am I bad? That's what you think about me. So that kind of relationship has to be built way before you start bringing anybody else into the picture.
Yeah.
And then how soon you bring somebody into the picture? And I say this because I've seen people that had a baby and damn thing got a boyfriend like 2 weeks later. Like, well, did you date the guy before you had the baby? Now there's stories of women, babies, infants. They're with not the baby's father, but some other dude. Like, baby daddy he didn't want to be part of this, so I got this other dude. Where the other dude come from? And I
Um.
don't know why it happens a lot. I don't know why it happens or how it happens. I know how it happens, but are you looking when you're pregnant? Was this a guy you was playing around with before you got pregnant? But I mean, they quickly move on to the next dude. Don't even give that opportunity, that particular situation, time to even fester. It's just like, okay, didn't work out, move on to a new dude who ain't the baby's father.
No, okay. This is where my commentary gets weird. I'm okay with the woman who moved on
Mm-hmm.
because I view that as a little bit of survival,
Mm-hmm.
right? You need somebody mentally to lean on, and probably it was a monetary thing. Like had
Mhm.
to survive. To me, it's the weird part is the man who showed up. I mean, that's weird to me.
Yeah.
How did you find someone to show up and say, "No, I'm all the way down for you in this whole situation"? And I mean, I respect the man who does it because I know guys who've done it, but I just don't understand that part of it. I understand the woman side
Yes.
of it. I just don't necessarily understand the man side of it because
Yeah. Yeah. Me neither. And this is gonna be weird. And you know this. There are men who would take care of someone else's kid before they take care of their own.
they'll take care of someone else's kid when they're with that woman.
Uh huh.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't take care of their kid,
Because they're not with that woman.
which is so crazy to me because you can't say, I'm a good dad, but you ain't really a good dad. And I'm thinking, like, where did that get all confused? But again, that this is why when you're dealing with kids and a relationship with kids, it just gets dicey. That personally, I wouldn't date a woman with kids. Um, that's just me. Because it's just I know what I'm going to expect that kid to be and what I want of that kid. First of all, that kid, I'm gonna treat that kid like it's mine.
Right.
So it's not gonna be, I go to the house and I buy food. I'm not gonna come in there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna buy her something." I'm not gonna get nothing for the kid. If we out, I'm buying the kid something too because that's what I would do if it was my kid.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it gets dicey when, let's say, you have to discipline them. And for me, I'm never about putting hands on kids in general because growing up, getting your hands and belts and switches and all that stuff. No, my thing is I always should be able to talk to kids, but you may run into a kid that may you want to put hands on them because they act a certain way.
Okay.
Then comes that possible conversation about you ain't my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me nothing. See, there where the problem is going to arise because if I'm taking care of you like my kid, and I so happen to be that guy to put hands on you, and I'm not going to put hands on you just to put hands on you because there has to be a reason for it. And we had to have a discussion before we can get to that point, if we ever get to that point. But kids will understand if I'm talking to you. They'll understand when you're in pain, you don't hear, you just yes, yes, yes. But if I'm talking to you and I take things from you, that's the way to hurt you. But these kids nowadays would say in a heartbeat, "You ain't my daddy. I'm going to call my daddy up." And me, I'm going to say, "Well, where your punk ass daddy at?"
That's what you gonna. That's what you gonna say. That's gonna be the response to the. See this whole no, you can't date children. People who have children.
See, and that'd be my first thing because I'm like, first of all, I'm gonna treat them with respect. But what you're not gonna do is tell me you ain't my daddy. I'm like,
normally when a child tells you they gonna call, like as from a mom, right?
mm-hmm.
Kids say I'm gonna call your mother. I'm gonna call grandma on you. Call her. We challenge them on everything they say they want to do. If you want to try me, try me. You want to call grandma? Call her.
Oh.
You want to call your dad? Call him. You want to call the police? Call them and call them fast because they're the only ones who's going to be able to save you at this point.
Oh, wow.
You see how we parent a little bit different, and this is why it's scary sometimes, and it's unclear when it's time to invite a man into your home because we do parent differently as far as the male and female perspective. And if I'm dating a man with kids, my mind is not going to the point where I'm not involving myself with this because what if I had to put hands on that child? That's not where I would never be thinking that the situation is going to escalate to the point where I'm going to have to put hands on, because I probably don't even necessarily put hands on my kids unless it's an extreme situation. And you call the police. Please call your father. You're going to have to get you up out of here. Call your grandmother. Let me call her for you. Type of thing. So, yeah, and to us, and we are nervous that the men will allow easily for the situation to escalate to the point where, especially as our sons get, between the teenage, 12 and older type of years, when they're really larger, feeling themselves, smelling themselves, a lot of them will even try their own fathers. So the very idea that you feel like, I'm taking care of this guy, and his own father ain't he trying to try me? Like, you're really in your feelings as a man, and really challenged as a man when somebody who's not your child tries you. Even though this is, for a lot of guys, they're gonna try somebody in those younger years, and sometimes it's an uncle, sometimes it's another kid in the neighborhood, but that's that age group where the boys buck at another man, and the girls they're just pretty sassy pretty much all through their life.
This is true.
And when parenting, we have to pick and choose the battles, right? And it seems like when there are bio children, you're okay with woo-sawing a little bit more with, when your son slams the door and he's, quote unquote disrespectful. You're like, okay, you know what? Let me just turn off the Wi-Fi. Let me just turn off the Wi-Fi. Whereas dad is going to go for respect.
Yes.
Like, he ain't slamming no doors in this house. Nah.
He ain't paying no bills.
Nah, he not paying no bills. He don't get to slam no doors. First of all, now he don't even get to have a door. Okay, so now
take the damn door off.
Yeah.
Take the door off. Yep. You got no privacy.
So, but we don't know if you're going to take the approach of taking the door off the hinges and the child would just, take that as a punishment, or if you're going to go in there and, start an argument with the child feels threatened, so now he's bucking at you, and now it becomes something that is very turbulent. And, as a woman, I can't begin to control, and now my son feels like, you didn't protect me, or my daughter feels like, you didn't protect me, because ultimately in those situations, you're supposed to be the one, or at least you feel like, you were supposed to be the one to protect your child. And so that's the scary part when we go to introduce and are raising the kids together, as far as the discipline is concerned that you mentioned. How much disciplining are you doing? And coming from a Black culture, because we discipline physically, I think it becomes harder for us to create like a settled household that is thriving, of a multiple family unit, and the respecting. We don't allow, we listen to cursing music, we curse around the kids, but the kids aren't allowed to curse to us, around us. A lot of some counterparts, that's, they don't care. That's not disrespectful.
No.
But to us, you curse at your mother, that man's going to hop up and, girl, what you just say?
There you go.
And dad's going to take it to another level, or mom's going to have taken it to another level. And because both of those parents are not her parents, and they both have to stand together as parents in the home, now that child perhaps feels attacked, threatened. It's not her father, so now she pick up the phone calling up her dad. He misinterpreting what really happened. She's a child who needed to be disciplined.
Exactly.
That's how you would have disciplined her, but you not disciplining my child like that. And again, I think a lot of it comes from just within, I'll rub my little hand if I could, us, right? Just how physical we can get when raising our children. That sometimes creates the scary part in inviting someone else into the household as far as the discipline side.
That is very true. And I think that's kind of like what we need to kind of rethink, how we parent. Because that's, like you say, if you know you're gonna date someone with kids, there's certain ways, certain things you have to say, I'm not going to do.
Right.
For instance, I wouldn't put my hands on a kid, male or female. Because to me that's just pushing that whole narrative of you have to beat kids into submission, or you have to choke them out to have them listen to you, and that's not true.
A child?
A child. You shouldn't have to choke a kid out.
Oh, that's who chokes children? I'm so concerned.
I mean, back, we was born, you get choked out, you get slapped
Bart
up.
Simpson.
You get hey, growing up, we get knocked out. We get knocked out. We used to get knocked out in the corner. You be in the corner, and you will wake up, and you were like looking at you like, oh, you finally woke up, huh?
Wow,
After you got knocked out.
generational difference.
Yeah,
I hope.
yeah.
I feel like my mother spoke to me about this before.
Yeah, generationally, we used to get knocked the hell out.
Yeah.
In the corner, you be in the corner. Knocked out. They punch in your chest, punch your paws in your chest.
Maybe it's a girl thing. I've never seen this before. I'm so
boys.
afraid.
Oh, we get our ass whipped. Our ass whipped. To a point where growing up, I had to go get switches and go get your switch. You acting a fool. You walk out there and you go grab a switch, a couple switches, because you're going to grab the first one that's going to break on the first hit. No. Get two of them. You come in there, you bring it in there, and they're going to take all the leaves off of it and everything and talk to you before they put the beat down on you. And that's how we were brought up. So, again, being brought up that way, you said, I'm not bringing my kids up that way.
Okay.
Because that was
abuse.
It was truly
Two
abuse.
switches. This
Two
must have been in
switches.
the country.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. They put the beat down on you. And they look at you. And you're like, okay, I don't want to catch that hand. I won't catch those hands. So let me just watch my mouth. These kids don't have that kind of fear anymore. That fear is long gone. You look at,
Yeah.
my son would look at me like, huh?
Yeah, we didn't.
Boy, you don't know.
You don't want your child to have that type of fear, though.
No,
that was too much.
Listen, I told many times, I said, boy, I can't tell you how many times you are almost not here. Based on some decisions that your daddy made when he was little. Mm-hmm. It could have went totally left. Mm-hmm. If it went totally left, you would not be here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be here at all. I said, but you learn that, hey, we can't raise our kids like that. But that meaning getting into relationships, that you have to kind of say, well, how, and it depends on if he's coming to your house. The other thing is, why would you let a dude move into your house? Let's say you get past the first.
He was at his mom's house.
Oh.
Sometimes they have to go back home.
And why is that?
Because she took everything.
Oh, you allow her to take everything?
Yeah, no, sometimes they allow her to take everything because it was their fault. Yeah, so they have to go back home and rebuild, and yeah.
Then they have to come and live with you.
Yeah, because I'm the one who took everything. Remember? Duh. I took everything from my guy. And so, yeah, the next guy who's in the pool now looks like the guy I just took everything from.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he could come and live with me.
Oh, my God. This is going to be really interesting.
It gets deep.
It really does, because, you're going to have to find a way to really function, in such a way that the kid doesn't feel a certain way. You guys can deal with each other and not feel that, and the thing is, as a woman, I would think you wouldn't want a guy put his hands on your kid anyway. Mm-hmm. As a guy, I don't want to put my hands on your kid. But if your kid's acting smart, and I want to put hands on him, and I'm telling you, listen, I'm trying to talk to this little person, and they bucking me, looking at me like, I don't know what you talking to me for. You better talk to my mama. Mm-hmm. Then, as a guy, like, how do I handle that? Personally, I'd be like, listen, I'm here with your mama. I ain't going nowhere unless something happens, so I'm not going to do nothing to hurt you. I'm here to help you. That's when I go out shopping. Do I also give you things? Do I also buy you things you don't even ask for? I know you like popcorns. I buy popcorn for you.
But outside of that, what if what I'm doing is because it's the age that I am? Like you could be my dad and I would still be acting up and doing these same things.
Well, that means then you have to look at yourself. The guy has to look at himself and say, okay, am I doing this because of her age, or I'm doing this because I got some other demons I got to deal with? That's the other thing. You should not get in relationships if you got issues going on within yourself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people keep thinking, like, if I get into another relationship, maybe I'll be better. Well, and people think about it. There's people that go from relationship to relationship doing the same stupid expression, excuse my expression, bullshit, and keep saying, well, why does this keep happening to me? Mm-hmm. Well, if you stop doing the same bullshit, stop doing the same bullshit you were doing for the past other 7 relationships and realize that you're a problem, then you wouldn't be in a situation. And women, always grab these dudes like they try to fix him or something. Like, you can't fix this dude. You got to fix himself. First of all, you got to know what the problem is with himself first.
Yeah, because most times they don't want to be accountable. Well, we as humans hate to be accountable for the problems that we internally have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then so if I'm the big man and I'm supposed to be, just the macho man, I'm gonna just keep on the facade that I must have. It's okay to be the damsel in distress,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's okay to be broken as a woman and have built yourself back up. It looks good,
Mm-hmm.
right? On paper, it's like,
True.
oh, strong woman now, she once was broken, but now she's whole. You can tell a whole story about it. You can write a book about it. Everybody would love you
that's
for
true.
it.
That is very true.
But for a man to speak about, him being broken and wallow, and ain't nobody gonna be like, yeah, man, come on, you can get up out of there, cheer you up. It's a place where you can go, we got a special house for you.
Oh my God.
There's no place for you to be broken and, build yourself back up. You lost your job, you lost your everything, you lost your wife. They're gonna be like, that was your fault. Don't nobody care about your book about how you built yourself back up. That was your bad.
Very true. Very, very true. And that's why we are in the situation we're in right now. Because we don't have that real conversation. Here's an example. They talk about toxic masculinity. Meaning, you don't have no emotions, you suck it up, you work it out, you do what you gotta do. Well, that toxic masculinity is why we drink a lot, why we use drugs, why we are hurt. That's why we don't really take good care of ourselves, because no one really tells you to deal with the emotional part of being a man.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is in societies weak. You can't be a weak man. You can't cry. You can't show tears. That's your weakness. No, it shows you're a human.
Right.
And if you don't show you're a human, you keep that pushed down long enough, then you start developing certain things, coping mechanisms to deal with it.
Okay.
You drink. You may do drugs. You may do a lot of things. So as a society, we need to start raising our boys differently. Stop saying, you don't have no emotions. You can have emotions. We all have emotions. But how do you control your emotions? Mm-hmm. Because that's how you see the crazy stuff out here now with the violence running rampant, with people just carjacking, bust people in their head, doing any kind of stuff. You're like, well, how did that happen? The kid was not a baby and said, you know what? That little boy gonna be a little carjacker when he grow up. the way he looks, he gonna rob everybody when he grows up. No, that's a learned behavior. Kids see this, boys see this, and then they start saying, well, my dad does this, or whomever the figure is around them, father figure, they're gonna learn from that. But you don't really teach men. You don't teach boys how to become men. You just say, hey, you should be able to take care of your family, blah, 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 but not deal with the emotional part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why these guys get in relationships. So you see guys like, they're so immature. Well, a lot of them don't grow up. A lot of them just get taken care of. And the mamas have a lot to do with that, too, when it comes to boys. The boy, that's my baby. I don't give a damn. That boy is 75 years old. And it's going to be, and rightfully so. Right. Your kid's going to be yours.
Yeah.
But at some point, you got to allow that kid to grow. You got to say, I got to put that kid in a situation to be responsible, be accountable.
But that's normally what the dads did. They made the moms back up off of those boys and allowed them to be men. So normally in the situations where a man wasn't present, the moms, to what you're saying, could hinder the boys.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, that's because it's an unbalanced situation that's there. Normally it's a male figure who, lets that boy know, get up off your mothers and go on out there in the real world and go be a man, because that's what you're going to thrive off of. Mm-hmm. So generally speaking, hopefully the woman doesn't keep the male back because there's someone else there working on him. Hopefully. Yeah.
And seeing that gets into,
because we don't know how to not let them know that's our baby. That's my baby.
Yes.
And that's my role.
Yes.
And it's like you're forcing me to work outside of my role when it's like I have to teach him, I have to love on him, softly,
mm-hmm.
as a woman. And then you want me to, be the hard parent too. It's like I'm playing two different roles. And then when I don't play, the other role properly, then it's my fault that he wasn't a man, and it is my fault. But it's all like how? But it wasn't supposed to be my job to teach him that.
Well, that goes back to the first decision you made with going with this
That
particular
guy.
guy who you knew, oh, there's something that's not right, but I can fix him.
He's all right. He don't
He's
have
okay.
10 red flags. He only got 7.
He's fixable.
Yeah, that's fixable.
He's not a killer.
Mm-hmm.
Drug dealer.
He may I don't know,
but
I don't know right now.
not yet. You
Yeah.
don't know, but these are the decisions that you have to make before you get entangled with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you do entangled with them and you end up having a kid by him, you shouldn't be surprised that he ends up being the way he is. Because
Okay.
I don't know why y'all surprised. Like, you know what? He was so attentive and he was this and that. And the moment
What do
I
you
told him
mean?
pregnant,
You don't know why we so in the beginning is so like it's so passionate in the beginning, and again they tell you everything.
mm-hmm.
Not they.
He tells you everything
told
that
me
you want to hear.
everything I wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's why I'm so shocked and surprised, because you went back on what you said to me.
And again, we said in an earlier discussion, everybody looks good. He looks good. She looks good. Some people never get by that initial thing because they think they can work it out. Oh, we're two handsome people. We can work it out.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little bit deeper than that.
Absolutely.
So you have to really know what makes this person tick.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it goes back to the CBS of personality.
Yeah.
Cracked, broken, shattered.
Yeah.
You don't really know. But if you talk to someone long enough, and if they open up, that's the other thing. If someone doesn't want to really talk about who they are, now you talk about a person who really doesn't know who they are, or don't want to even have a discussion about who they are, because that could be something that they're not even in touch with. But y'all don't spend the time to even find it out. You just like, oh, he's fine, and I can work it out, and
Because the chemistry, it's the chemistry. You just as long as the chemistry is there, then.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine and dandy until you start bouncing on that road and pow, you end up getting pregnant.
True.
And then all of a sudden,
the chemistry went off then.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be off.
It got mixed up differently.
How did that happen? Now the first question: how did that happen? I thought you was taking precautions. Well, everybody
We never talked about that.
Okay, that's one of the things you probably should talk about, because again, that's going to dictate a lot of things. Like
And it
what
should.
if you get pregnant?
But sometimes, apparently, according to some shows, you just kind of jump into the bedroom and it's so hot and heavy that, we didn't have any of these conversations.
Until it happens.
After.
So the cause happened to the effect. So the cause of it was you not having that real conversation about if this happens. Because you play any game, there's a likelihood if you play baseball that you could get hit in the head with a ball or get hit with a ball.
Yeah.
That's just
or if
part
you go
of
watch the game.
You could get hit. Yes. You could be minding your own business, eating popcorn, and all of a sudden a ball comes at you at 100 miles an hour, hits you right in your forehead.
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things you should talk about. Especially if you get into a relationship where she already has a kid and you have a kid. Because now this could get to a point where
we're joined now, not by marriage, but just by a good time.
Exactly.
Which now we're entangled again. Like, wow. And that's not necessarily the person that you want to spend forever with. And so you look at the pool. Look at what's happening to the pool.
Oh my
so
God.
You walked into the pool and you had one kid, and now you left out. Well, you're still in the pool, and now you got 2 kids.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you're at that point, you're in a relationship. You really have to have all those type of relationships. Really got to have that kind of talk even before your kids even get involved. Because once you know you got kids, however that dimension is or dynamic is, you got to ask yourself, is this, get to know them, learn about them. Do I really want to have a kid, a baby? If something happens, do I really want to have a kid by this person? And you ask yourself, no.
Or, so most of us need to realize, can I even afford to continue to have kids?
Oh, you had to go there.
Yeah, absolutely.